This episode is going to be a little different this week, maybe even a little bit raw. But I feel like I need to bring this to the table today and show a little bit of my own vulnerability because I know that someone out there is going to need to hear this today. This episode is not about strategies or solutions, it's more of a heart to heart. Before we get started, I want to invite you to just take a breath with me here. Put your 2 feet on the ground and then focus your shift, your breath to your nose, and just do me a favor. Take a deep breath in. Hold at the top and exhale really slowly through the mouth. Get a coffee, a tea, and hang out with me for the next few minutes. So throughout my career, throughout my life, whether it be before I left my 9 to 5, when I left my 9 to 5, and even in building this business, I've experienced very dark times. When I mean dark, I don't mean I feel a little sad for a day or a little disappointed or a little frustrated. I mean dark. The kind of dark that surrounds you and suffocates you with negative thoughts. Thoughts of doubt, of stress, of overwhelm, grieving maybe an identity loss, and feeling completely and utterly exhausted. You may even, as I have in the past, felt very disconnected from your life or from the light in your life. Recently, I had gone to a little bit of a space where I was experiencing another form of ego death, where I was giving up or grieving something I had lost in the past. And knowing that I'm fully stepping into something different in the work that I do right now. I just remember staring at my computer screen one day and completely falling apart because it just felt like things weren't going in the direction that I wanted them to go with a particular thing that I was trying to make happen. And it reminded me of all those times in the past where maybe I had experienced failure. So I just started romanticizing all the things I had in the past, and I was forgetting why I stepped away from things in the past. And I did an entire video on this, by the way, on what to do when you regret a decision, right? And how to overcome that. I've done an entire video on this because I've learned how to do this. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because even if you're high functioning and you've made great decisions and you know why you've made decisions, it doesn't mean that they don't come back sometimes and bite you and create this sensation of darkness. Maybe you're looking at a spreadsheet or your investments and you realize, man, I'm worth more dead than alive, which is not true, by the way. But those are the kinds of thoughts that sometimes would come into my perspective. Maybe we just push through. Others have it worse. I mean, I caught myself saying this just a few weeks ago. Life can always get worse. Things can always get worse. And you justify the dark feelings you're in and you think, I'm just going to push through. I'm just going to mindset my way through this. A good colleague of mine said to me just recently, sent me a text in support. I reached out to him with some stress that I was experiencing, and he reached out to me and said, remember, Tammy, that it's always darkest before the dawn. It's always darkest before the light is shown. And that hit me and struck me. And what's really interesting is I was at Costco just a couple days ago, and there was a guy there with a tattoo, and it said, it's always darkest before the dawn. No coincidence in life, right? The message was clear that dark seasons are not the end of a story. They're often the beginning of something deeper, maybe even wiser, trying to emerge. The reason why you're in this dark space is because there's a lack of alignment between the life you're living and what you really want to do. And as a business person, it's important for these checks because it means that there's either a fear or a worry or there's something that's blocking me/you from moving on and what you need to do. And the dark moments remind us of what is blocking us because those same feelings, those fears, those anxieties, they come up in those times. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I can't make this happen. What if this doesn't work for me? And so I just want to offer some encouragement because I don't have life all figured out. Yes, I'm an executive coach. And yes, I've experienced some powerful transformations with my clients. But that doesn't mean I don't have the same struggles as you guys. It also means that I'm sometimes challenged by those same dark thoughts. So if you're in that space, that pit of despair, the belly of the beast, if you will, wondering if everything you've done so far was worth it, wondering if you'll ever see the other side of the challenge you're experiencing right now, I want you to hear this. I have experienced these moments of darkness a half dozen times or more over my life. In my 20s, I was on suicide watch. There's always light when you're willing to do the work. There's always light when you're willing to go in and examine what is at the root of that darkness. What is at the root of why you feel the way you do? What fear, what block, what anxiety, what story are you telling yourself that may or may not be true? I want you to pause, breathe, and ask for help. I want you to think about therapy. Go to a head talk, doc. Look at your mindset. It's part of the equation. Don't put all your eggs in that basket, though. Look at somatics, working through your body, where your memory, your emotional memory is held in your body. The darkness doesn't just sit in your head, it sits in your body. It sits in the anxiety feelings you have in your chest. It sits in the palpitations you experience. It sits in the indigestion you have. It sits in your bowels being out of sorts. It sits in the fatigue and the pain in your joints. That's all where the darkness sits. So connect with that. If you have to go through someone like me who can support you somatically, or go to YouTube and find a video to help you work through some somatic stuff. Contact a colleague, a friend. If you're in business, talk to someone who is more of a mentor to you, someone who is where you want to be. They've probably gone through this. They probably know exactly what you're feeling and know exactly where to send you. My colleague who shared with me that sort of reminder that the darkness always is darkest before dawn or before the light shows, also reminded me to go back to Wayne Dyer. For those of you who don't know who Wayne Dyer is, this man was a brilliant, got to see him speak a couple times. He was a brilliant man who had a very keen sense of what balance really was and how to really connect, not just with the law of attraction, but knew how to connect to your body, your soul, your humanness at a broader level, connecting you with something greater than yourself. As my colleague said, Wayne Dyer quite literally saved his life a few times over the course of his life. And you know what? He's done it for me too. Go to a retreat, take a break, book that sabbatical. Do what you need to do to navigate through the darkness so that you're not feeling overwhelmed by trying to keep it all together at work or keep it all together in your business, and also try to recover and heal in the process. Take the space you need because your ultimate success depends on it. Case in point, I've taken the last week and a half to just rest. I have no pressure about putting any leads out or doing any business. I'm doing content, but I want to share this with you. This is not about me making money. This is about me sharing a message. I have a vacation coming up in the next few weeks, and I'm looking forward to every moment of it. Spending time with my kids, seeing beautiful locations, maybe a whale or two, I don't know. But for me, booking the vacation and booking time away was something for me to look forward to, just a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, just something to look forward to. So what is that one thing that would help you to look forward towards something? And know that when you ask for help, it's not weakness. It's an act of leadership. It's an act of self-leadership. You're supporting yourself so that you can be there for everyone else. If you fall apart, if you, God forbid, make a decision that is irreversible, the people around you are the ones that suffer. So there's one phrase I want you to know. When you decide to take a break, or when you decide to take care of yourself, when you finally admit that you're in that dark space, I want you to know that you are not a burden. People make irreversible decisions about their life because they feel like they are a burden. You are not a burden. You deserve everything you have because you're a human being. Just because you're alive. It's pretty amazing. And I want to ask you, what is one small thing you can do today to feel a little less alone, a little less lost in the darkness of it all? What's one thing that you can do today to support yourself? If you're struggling with anxiety, fear, and it's becoming recurring thoughts, reach out to a therapist. If you just want to practice some breath work and reset yourself, I have a guided meditation you can use. There's a link down below for you. It's completely free. If you decide that you want to move through this in a way that moves you forward, maybe you know that your career is coming to an end and you just don't want to do that anymore. Or maybe you've decided that you're done with the stress and the fatigue of the job and the lack of boundaries in your life, and you're really looking to reestablish some sort of new normal because you just can't take this anymore. There's a link to book into my calendar. I'm here to discuss what the art of the possible is for you. Just because you carry everything in your life, at least you feel you do, doesn't mean you have to. You're a whole being. Mindset tricks and tactics are not necessarily going to get you out of this dark space. You need to be willing to go into the body and feel what needs to be felt, release what needs to be released, and come up with a different strategy for the future. Between your therapist and myself, we can help you get there. Thanks for being here today. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the joy and happiness you deserve, the peace, the success, the things you're looking for. And in the meantime, stay grounded, get inspired, and remember to exhale.